Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, as always, we will take a look at the charts, but let's just have a quick look at the crypto bulls here on the weekly and the daily. So, over on the week, Elon is the highest gainer. Sometimes I take this in and out because it just kind of dominates the sort of crypto bubbles, if you will. Elon is either the biggest gainer or the biggest loser, so he's one of them. Do you know what I mean? So outside of Elon, anyway, Velo's down 25%, so that could be a brilliant buying opportunity. Yeah, we're looking to buy red, not the green. Okay, so behind Elon, anyhow, XRP is the biggest gainer on the weekly, believe it or not. So XLM down. These are usually strongly correlated now. They seem to be decoupling for one another, XLM and XRP. So whether or not XRP is ahead of its time, who's to know, but we will take a look at the charts and find out. Gala's down 12%, XDC's down 4.7%. So Velo and Gala are the ones that I'm going to be, obviously, they're the two cryptos I'm in anyway, because I want to buy low and ultimately sell high when these green bubbles are forming. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into the chart. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is a little bit different on the chart. So I'm going to explain to you my sort of strategy going forward. Yeah, so this isn't an exit plan, which is what I will be updating after the next sort of Fed meeting. Okay, so anyone who's purchased already, I will be putting out new content for these plans. Okay, because some things have come to fruition. For example, like the key dates when we was looking to set the law. We actually set the law of a bull flag after the US elections. So although it wasn't the law, it was the law in the bull flag. We also got going as well 2 weeks prior to when we anticipated, because we set off 32 weeks after halving. Historically, we set off 34 and 36 weeks after halving. So you can see there's a bit of a pattern, 32, 34, 36. So there's like a 2 week differential. So this is all data that we're actually collecting along the way. And this is going to feed into the hodlers sort of plan for you guys that are looking to sort of exit, coming into the sort of second quarter and then going into the remaining of the year, where we do expect to take profits. Now, although the key dates are probably going to remain the same for the two key take profit dates, what I will be looking at is sort of different targets in terms of price action. The reason being is I'm seeing some sort of discrepancies in the market now. Like I said, the more data that plays out, the more we're going to learn. But let's just have a look now with XRP, and then what we'll do is we'll come over to the other sort of cryptos that we're currently trading, like Gala, for example. Now, yesterday I did put out a video with XRP as to how we go about slicing dicing this year. I was looking at this sort of ascending wedge, but ultimately I feel as though this is already a bull pennant playing out in my view. Yeah, we look to retest this sort of 50-day moving average, which is this blue line here curving up. We didn't touch that as well, which is a little bit dubious in my estimations as to where XRP could potentially go. But ultimately, we talked about the sort of bull pennant as well, how we actually like to take this sort of measurement here, the mouth of the pennant, and then place it on top of there. Yeah, so initially I was looking at around 380 with a sort of measured move, but if we're going off this sort of estimate here, we're probably looking at getting up to around sort of $5. If that was to come to fruition, yeah, there's no guarantee that this will play off. Some other TA analysts might be looking at, taking the whole flag. Now, that could be sort of a macro target. Yeah, so we could eventually, I'm not saying this is going to play out in one foul move, but you can see here where this is sort of projecting into sort of February. So I don't know if that's a little bit too ambitious. I'm not saying it's not achievable, but, that'll put us in a ball figure of around $12, $13, which is one of the Fibonacci extensions. Okay. So those are the sort of bullish sort of interim targets that we're looking at. Again, I've got the exact key dates in the plan as well, but we're just going to play it by here. If you're ever uncertain, come over to the channel and I'll give you my sort of latest thoughts as we sort of play out. The advantages what this gives you with the plan is you can actually plan ahead. You know what sort of key dates before you start taking profits. Yes, I realise some people watch my channel and they did take profits early, for example, around sort of $1.60 to $2. So you're 3-4 extra money. Yeah, I've had people in my sort of circle complaining, oh, well, I could have ridden it up to sort of current price action at 3.30. Yeah, ultimately, what you've done there is 3-4 extra capital. Yeah, so if you was cashing out, say, for example, for argument's sake, around $2, so I'll just click it on the screen now. So let's just take that down, delete that. $2. I'm just going to find it on the screen. I don't need the price action as such. So that's $2 right there. If you was to ride it up to sort of current sort of price action, you're talking 57%. So you've only missed out on like sort of 57% gains. Worst case scenario, if you did cash out earlier about one sort of 60 at the lower fib level, you lost out on about 96%, which is fine. You've only missed out on a 2x. So if you've done what I've done and rotated into XDC, XDC has also done a 2x anyway. Yeah, so you're keeping pace with XRP. But what we're looking to do now is begin to outpace XRP, because XRP has pretty much leading the altcoin market, as opposed to Ethereum, and it's got going first as opposed to last. Usually XRP pumps last and it pumps the hardest. However, Gala and Velo are both tremendous sort of moonshots now. So Gala, for me, this is what's happening now on Gala. So this is on the daily. So this is the sort of gains we're chasing. So to make up for the sort of missed out gains, if you will, when we've rotated, we're looking at around 80% just to get to this brim of the cup. Yeah. So again, guys, I've been mentioning this is like a cup that's been forming 8-9 months, so pretty much the majority of 2024. We're looking at 80% to get to the brim, which is this orange line here. Once we get to the brim of the line, we're looking at these big measured moves up here. So the sort of first fib target is 350. So in my view, we'll start outperforming XRP now. And then once we do get up to these sort of, next fib levels, which I do believe are achievable, just based on this cup and handle here, because again, previous videos, top to bottom on the cup, you plant that on top of the cup there, and that projects you the target. So there's a lot of confluence there that we can run up 800%. So yeah, we're not expecting that 800% move in the next couple of weeks, but certainly after the Fed meeting, that is a strong possibility in my view, and then we can look to rotate. So I will not be rotating directly into XRP initially. So what's important is this XDC XRP pair now once it loads up. So, and what I'm going to do is I might just take it out onto the weekly time frame as well, just to sort of get a better read of the charts. Okay, so this is a weekly, and we've discussed this price action. So this is XDC versus XRP, so two best assets in my view. XRP, XDC is currently trading here at the yellow line, so that signals to me that you need to be in XDC as opposed to XRP. Yeah, so I do believe this will ping pong between these two yellow lines. Yeah, and we'll probably get some sort of breakout, most likely in the favor of XDC, simply because it's got a smaller market cap. Okay, and if you actually look back on some of the sort of milestones for like XRP, for example, like the stable coin and the news as well, with Stuart Alderotti, the SEC appeal. XDC outperformed XRP, and it was almost like stealing the limelight. I was just like, what is going on here? Like, why is XDC outperforming XRP on that particular day? But yeah, we're looking at a 234% gain on top of XRP. So this is what XDC is going to outperform XRP. We don't know. We haven't really got a time scale of when this is going to play out. Yeah. So back here, this literally took 3 or 4 weeks from hitting this sort of bottom trend line all the way up here. Down here, we kind of rejected and bounced straight back up, and then we tapped it again, and then we're kind of sort of in the middle here, which is where these moving averages are highlighting. We're currently below, which tells me again we must be in. If you got XDC XRP, in my view, XDC is the better pick of the two, and this is why I will be rotating once we see this sort of mega pump from Gala and Velo. What I'll be doing is rotating then into XDC. Now, XDC is also going to come down, which means XRP and XDC most likely are going to come down together. So whether or not we actually see that sort of upthrust towards that sort of $5 mark next, who's to know? Yeah, it's all probabilities. But what I would say is, when I find XDC now, let's just filter through the symbols. XDC is here. So what I'm seeing with XDC is, again, I've done two sort of scenarios with the sort of sequence here with the Elliott wave move. So we got the 1, 2. Again, let's go into the daily. I'll be able to clear it up a little bit quicker. So this is a daily. Wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, self-explanatory. And then so far, XDC is following a sort of ABC correction, to a T. So whether or not this is a fake out with XRP to the upside, we don't know yet. Yeah, everything's a risk at the moment because it's already done above a 6x advantage since the time of the US elections. from 7th of November, the previous Fed meeting. Yeah, so this is what we're waiting for now, is the next Fed meeting over the 28th and the 29th of January, which will be pivotal. So this is why I've marked this in this bottom of this A wave is probably going to be when Jerome Powell comes out. So XDC is most likely to come down here, in my view, up for the next week. And then what we'll do is we'll probably run up with a market. So that'll be like a 52% bounce. So that'll be going into sort of wave B, if you like. Okay, so 52% bounce. I think Gala is obviously going to clear that sort of brim of the cup, that 80%, and we'll probably do a pump and dump. Yeah. So by the time Gala does a pump and dump, this is what I'm looking at now. We're going to be looking at some massive gains. So I'm looking at this breakout here, down here. Again, it can play out until the 28th, 29th. So yeah, it's just going to flicker around. So what we want to do is get this sort of 80% move to the orange, and then we want to be pumping as high as up here. So again, we'll be looking at some sort of 8-9x, in my opinion. That's if we're being really aggressive. If we're being conservative, I do believe that 11-12 cent is certainly achievable. So, some decent gains there. That's about 4.5x on your capital. So what we'll look to do is take maybe partial profits. We'll revisit it once this sort of price action, this cup and handle plays out. We'll revisit it, and then what we'll look to do is basically rotate from Gala into XDC. Then when we're in XDC, what we'll do is we'll wait for this B wave, C wave to play out. And this is if it's going to come to fruition, guys. I hope it does. This is just what I'm seeing at the moment. We could also come down, just tracking this red sort of 200-day moving average as well. So maybe getting at the 200-day moving average, by the time this comes up here, let's just project this, maybe getting around anywhere between sort of 4.5 cent up to 6 cent. Yeah. And that would be a brilliant entry on XDC. Once we do get that entry, around 6 cent for XDC, then what we'll look to do is, again, we'll come back over to the pair, and then we'll be running XDC up against XRP. Now, it's at that point now when XDC gets up to that top of that yellow trend line here, does that 236% move, then we can look to start rotating out of XDC and start balancing the books with XRP. So then you could ultimately have like 50% XRP, 50% XDC. Yeah, in your sort of ISO basket, if you will. Again, you guys can split it as you want, but what I would be looking at doing is balancing the books at that point, yeah. Because that for me is XDC is obviously overvalued, in my opinion, in comparison to XRP at that point, guys. I hope that makes sense anyway. So just to recap, we're running Gala up. This is a recap, yeah. So all we're doing now, Velo and Gala, yeah. I'm just going to concentrate on Gala because it's more mainstream. There's more liquid in the market, yeah. So people that are dealing with big, large sums of money, we're in Gala, yeah. We run this up at least to this fib level here. So we're targeting around, I'd say, about 15 cent. Yeah, so that's about your 4.5x. So you start with Gala. We then wait for the corrections with XDC. In the broader market, the whole market's going to correct, yeah. So once we do get up this sort of level here, I would be looking at retesting the cup. Yeah, so that's like 60%. So it's not just XDC that's going to correct. It'll be the whole market, yeah. But all we're looking to do now is look for a pump and dump with Gala. So we're in Gala. Get our pump up to about 15 cent. If you want to be brave, you can look at targeting the next fib level. So that'll be an extra 2x. If you go from 15 to 30 cent, this is up to you guys. Personally, I'll be taking profits, I think, around here. At least I'll probably be looking at taking at least 20%. I'd like some dry powder just in case. So this is the first step. We're in Gala. Then what we do is wait for the markets to pump and dump. And in XDC's sort of case, we are coming down gradually into this Fed meeting on the 29th. We get a little bit of an impulse up to the B wave. Everyone feels like the bull market's back on, to only for the market then to rug us. I'll probably be looking at sort of mid-February. I don't know the date here of wave B, but certainly I do believe we'll get back up to about this sort of 12 cent range, I would imagine. And then we'll look at rolling over here into the 200-day moving average. At this point, I would say beginning of March is what we're aiming for at the moment. Again, I don't know where the C wave is going, so this is why it's important to like, share, and subscribe in the channel to make sure that you keep up to date with this particular sort of strategy that I'm running with, because things can change, yeah? Things change on a daily basis, which is why I produce these videos on a daily basis, to keep you guys up to date to the best of my ability. Okay. If you are hodling and you don't feel confident enough, say for example you're relying on somebody else to sort of trade, just hodl the bag. Yeah. If you like sort of advanced, or like you kind of know what you're doing around trading view and the key levels you're looking for, be my guest, go ahead and do it if you've got experience. But if you're new into the crypto landscape, just hodl the bag honestly till like second quarter at least, because you'll just get chopped up and then you won't know where to pivot to, and then you'll be crying because you know XRP's outran you and you don't know how to catch up or overtake, etc., etc. You run into all kinds of problems. So this is what we're doing now. Gala, XDC, waiting for this B wave, C wave, and then we enter this on the C wave down here for XDC. Jump in XDC, and then we'll ride it up. Yeah, and then that's when we can split XDC into XRP, and then we could basically run these two fantastic crypto assets up until sort of April, May, and then again we'll reassess and see which targets have been hit. Okay, but anyway, if you want to purchase those two together, we got a 10% discount. Like I said, XRP, we was expecting some slightly different figures, especially with the law prior to the turn of the new year. However, that didn't come, which is unfortunate. However, like I said, the targets still remain the same. So, yeah, 10% discount on both of those plans together. Again, we will be providing updates. But, yeah, I hope that all makes sense anyway. Gala, wait for XDC to come down in that C wave. Then we'll run up to 260%, whatever it was. And then we'll start rotating into XRP. Anyway, guys, I hope that makes sense. I've explained it the best to my ability. Until next time, I shall see you in the next video. Blockbull is over and out.